How to shift your attitude and move toward happiness. Today I'm going to give you 2 ways to move toward happiness. First, we're going to talk about this cool new app that I got that's really helped me to change my perspective as well. And then at the end, I'll share with you something you can do every day to bring happiness into your life. So first, my experience with this app. This is an amazing app that I discovered through some friends of mine that really correlates well with the way I see how we experience the world. There's been so many studies over the last 25 years on the importance of emotional intelligence. How we feel and understand and express our emotions has a significant impact not only in the workplace but in every aspect of our lives and those that we associate with. Our emotional intelligence is the thing that allows us to understand where we are in that space of emotional well-being. This is an interesting thing. People can be going through extremely difficult trials in their life and still be happy and thriving. But these are people that have learned to embrace the emotions that they have, learn to understand what they are feeling and experiencing, and allowing that to resonate within them. So if you're going through something particularly difficult and you're feeling grief or you're feeling anger or you're feeling sadness or despair, whatever those things are, we've been taught by our culture often that these are emotions we don't have time for. They'll dismantle us. We have work to do. We've got to keep going. And the app has an interesting capacity to measure the frequency of all of the emotions that you're feeling. This technology that this app uses has been developed because we have discovered that emotions vibrate at a certain frequency. And our vocal cords, when we talk, carry those frequencies within us. That's why when you call somebody on the phone and sometimes you'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" And you'll hear them say, "I'm doing okay." You know they're not okay. We can hear that easily. The words do not cover the emotional state. We can hide that, maybe to the ears of those around us that don't know us well, or even to those that know us well. But this app has the technology to pick up on all the frequencies that resonate within our voice, which then allows you, if you're not as clear as most people aren't, at knowing what is going on within your body and how you feel, well, it allows you to identify that. And it's interesting, they've done studies on people's capacity to know their emotional state, and they say that in any given room of 10 people, 1 to 2 of them, only 1 to 2 of them actually have an understanding of their emotional state. The rest of us are befuddled. We feel things, but we live in the gray. We only allow the big emotions of joy and exuberance to penetrate our existence, or deep grief and despair. And this middle road of the little things, we just pretend don't exist, so we fail to find the wisdom that comes from the emotions that we carry because we are not able to drop in and feel them. I had an experience using this app that really helped transform my concept of how to feel happiness because of what this app taught me. And what I learned is I actually physically express my confidence quite well. When people meet me, they feel that I'm confident, they understand, hey, this guy's able to move and speak and say things in a way that show that he believes in himself. However, there's 2 components to confidence. There's the emotional side, that's what is expressed that you see, and then there's the internal side, my attitude of confidence internally. And it says it's not there. And I was disturbed by this, so I went to the people that developed the whole concept behind it and have all of the information and the findings of all the people that they've tested. And an attitude of confidence can be really dismantled when you're going through significant life changes. I went through a divorce. I left my religious belief. I could go on and on. I got all these things that have changed for me that have really impacted my ability to say, wow, I can definitely do this. Now, I believe I can. I feel I can. But when conflicted with my past systems of belief and where I'm headed now, I have not had enough iterations of proof to truly believe. It's like in the New Testament when there's a man running to Christ and he says, hey, I need you to save my daughter. She's sick. And Christ says, I can if you believe. I'll save her. And he says, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Many of us are in that state. We need to shift our attitude of belief. And I was in that state looking at that, and I thought, what do I need to do to shift my attitude? Because I am acting confident. I do believe that. Help my unbelief, but what do I need to do to help my unbelief? Because it impacts my happiness when I'm not truly feeling that, right? And I discovered that by acting with gratitude for what brings me joy in my life and listing those things that when I am experiencing, hey, this makes me feel happy. When I looked at all the things that I'm grateful for with fresh eyes, rather than sitting and winding through the difficulties I faced and the worries that I had, it transformed my attitude of confidence. Just the simple act of sitting and practicing gratitude brought me happiness and changed my level of confidence. I was able to understand my lack of belief and where it came from. I was able to feel it and recognize it. In the resonating of that, it left my voice. I became happy, and the measurement of the vibration of my voice was picked up by the app, and it showed me the change. It blew my mind. Begins as I do this, as I use this app and I look at those places where I am feeling emotions or the emotions that are difficult for me that I'm choosing not to feel because it's uncomfortable, I become aware of. And I can go to my heart and I can say, oh, I'm feeling sadness for this experience, or I'm feeling anger for this, and it's tight, and I can allow myself to drop in and feel it, resonate with it, and then it dissipates. And then I can practice an act of gratitude, which transforms me into happiness for what I have right now, my life, no matter what. If you're still breathing, you can be like the many people I've seen in history who are able to withstand what I believe sometimes are insurmountable challenges with kindness and gratitude. I've seen so many examples on TV. A parent whose child is killed by a drunk driver, or maybe a thief who breaks in the home and rapes and kills their child, and yet the parent is able to forgive that person and be in peace and gratitude and happiness in spite of that injustice and what's wrong. That's a powerful thing. Or, like Stephen Hawking, trapped in a body, suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease, losing all of his capacity to move and speak, still producing incredible works of science that transform our understanding. That's an act of happiness in a space of challenge. We need to retrain the focus of our minds from one where we are in comparison and falling into denying our emotional states so that we get blocked and stuck. When we choose not to resonate with those emotions that are in us because we don't want to look at them, they're uncomfortable, we cannot let them go. And so our mind shift is blocked from changing. We're ruminating on things that stick with us that we don't want to. So if this is you, I want you to write a list of things that make you happy daily. And focus on the good in your life, not what you don't have, not the injustice, not the pain. You know what that is. It's okay to drop in and feel the frustration and anger, and you should. But once it's done and you've resonated with whatever that is, the next step is gratitude. Allow yourself to shift from a state of frustration or anger, whatever it is that you have to feel, to gratitude, and that'll change your life. And I had a recent experience with this just last week. I took a vacation. I haven't taken a lot of vacations in the last 2 years. With COVID and the change of what I was doing with my business, I have been going nonstop. I took my first vacation in 2 years in August, at the beginning of August, for a week, and then I had scheduled another vacation to go to see a friend in the coast, just in Monterey Bay area, a beautiful space in Northern California that I love, full of trees and just beauty. And I got there and it was so amazing. And the place that we were staying on our property, this big 16-acre property overlooking the ocean, was absolutely stunning and full of peace and great beauty, and I loved it. and there was no internet connection. I couldn't get any access to anything, and I was worried about work. It began to fill my mind. I became so stressed. And I looked at my app, and my stress levels were 75%. And I realized, oh my gosh, I'm on vacation, and I think I'm happy, and it says that I'm stressed out and struggling. I don't want to be struggling on my vacation. That's no fun. I was frustrated. But I dialed into that emotional state of, honestly, anxiety for all that I had to do and all that I was ignoring while I was here and out of touch and out of reach. And man alive, it hit me. I was on fire with the amount of stress that I felt for, I don't know, 30 minutes. It was deeply uncomfortable. I didn't like it. But after feeling it and processing it and recognizing what it was and recognizing I had planned this, I knew that I would be okay. Everything would be still there when I got back. I let it drop. And I immediately shifted into a new state of happiness by allowing that feeling to resonate, dropping in and feeling it, changing my perspective from, yes, I recognize this is there. I listen to the wisdom of this feeling, and I do not need to act on it because I've got it covered. I can be happy now. It changed. And I was so grateful that I was able to do that, whereas I probably would have fought through it and got back to work and maybe been a little bit miserable to be around during my vacation. And I hope I wasn't. I think I was okay. It was a good time. Anyway, I hope that you can find happiness by following these steps. Makes sense to you. Hey, I'm James. Thanks for watching my video. There's more to come up if you have more interest in all the other emotions and how to face them and deal with them. Thanks for watching.